What is good, YouTube? It's your boy OG Nonboy back with another video, and in today's video I have a pretty strong team here in the HOENN Cup, which consists of Deoxys Defense, Sableye, and Walrein. So Deoxys Defense and Walrein has been a core that I featured on this channel before, but instead of having the Sableye, I had the Diggersby and it was used in the Open Great League. So I figured since this core exists in the HOENN Cup that it would probably be pretty strong, and I replaced the Diggersby with the ever so flexible safe swap of the Sableye. So without further ado, let's get into these matches here. First match, we have Deoxys Defense into Shadow Gardevoir, and oh my gosh, Shadow Gardevoir's fast move damage is super oppressive, so we're not going to be able to take them out if they decide to invest shields here. So I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt, and they do give us a shield, so I don't think I'm going to reach another Thunderbolt, so I just go for the Cycle Boost to get as much chip as I can. And they're going to let that go. They're put pretty low here, and I'm going to come in with my Walrein to get some farm, and they actually swap into their Vigoroth. So I do stay in here a little bit, and a lot of people might be questioning this play, but I decided to do that so that I could put them in return range. And since they are a shield down, I do not anticipate that they are going to shield, especially since I still have both of my shields and decide not to shield that move. So I'm going to go ahead for the return here. And like I predicted, my opponent does not actually shield that. So they're going to come back in here with the Gardevoir, but we're going to be able to Shadow Claw them down. And then they do not even reveal their third Pokemon. So next match, we have the toughest lead for this team in the Sableye. So I'm going to swap in my own Sableye. And this is also a play that might confuse some people, since strictly speaking, if they stay in, you're going to lose this matchup since you're a fast move behind, but usually opponents will switch out. And here I'm going to go for the foul play, just because if they do shield a return, they will be able to farm down before you reach another move there. So by throwing the foul play, I'm forcing my opponent to dump their energy here. So now the opponent is a shield down, and a Thunderbolt from this range will KO, and I do bring in my Deoxys Defense right away, just because our switch clocks are desynced. So we may be able to take advantage of that if the opponent does not wait out their switch timer after going down here. But opponent doing a good job in waiting out their switch timer to try to realign the timers, and I'm spam clicking the Walrein as we do anticipate the Sableye coming back in here. So I'm going to shield up the move here. The fact that they're staying in here for a while kind of indicates to me that they're weak to Walrein in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight for the Earthquake here. And the opponent does not shield, and my prediction was correct, and they have an Altaria in the back. So next match, we are met with another one of these really tough Sableye leads. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to swap into my Sableye. And opponent does swap out right away into their Celio. And I'm going to go for the return here, just because if this does land, I will be able to flip switch. But opponent does shield that, so I'm just going to let my Sableye go down here. And the opponent having a lot of health actually kind of helps me out in this situation, as you're going to see here in a little bit, since our Deoxys Defense is going to be able to get a really fat farm down and be able to leave this matchup with almost 2 Thunderbolts for the Sableye, which I anticipate coming back in. So gonna just farm everything down, tank every move, and save the shields for the Walrein, and hopefully it is useful in the back. So looking at the team though, I was thinking that there was a pretty good chance that it was a double Walrein evolution team, so I'm anticipating a Walrein in the back. So they do bring the Sableye back in. I'm going to throw the Thunderbolt here, and then I'm going to throw the next Thunderbolt, and this will put them in a nice farm down range if they decide to let this go. But opponent actually going down 2 shields here, so I'm going to bring my Walrein in. And since I do anticipate it being a Walrein in the back, I'm going to be very careful with not throwing my move right away. And opponent swapping into their own Walrein, and since we are ahead on energy, we should just be able to go straight Earthquake here and take out their Walrein before they can do anything to ours. And I think if they do bait, they won't be able to make it to an Earthquake in time regardless, so I do shield this, and it does end up being the Earthquake, so that shield was a pretty good shield. I'm going to over farm a little bit, just so I don't have to tank a Icicle Spear, which would put me close to return range, I believe. So I'm going to make it to the Icicle Spear here and take out their Sableye. So another Sableye lead that we were able to win with some good energy management and getting some shield advantage in the middle matchup. So we are met with a pretty positive lead in the set here for once, and they swap into the Tropius, so I'm going to hard counter them with the Walrein. But since they are running the Razor Leaf, they will be able to maintain swap if they decide to go down to shield. So we're going to match shields for now, just so that we can maintain swap if they decide to let the next Icicle Spear go. But I'm not really counting on it, since it seems like they really do not want their Medicham on my Deoxys defense. So this is okay though, since we have a good matchup against the Medicham with both our Deoxys defense and the Sableye. And now I'm going to be able to bring in my Sableye and get a pretty nice energy lead on whatever comes in next. So they're going to throw the Leaf Blade. I'm going to shield that to preserve the health on my Sableye here. And I'm going to stay in this matchup just because we are almost at the foul play. And we will be able to take them out by throwing the foul play and some Shadow Claws. So at this point the game is over. Their Tropius is energy dry, and we're going to be able to farm them down. And then we have two Pokemon that do really well against Medicham, against their Medicham. So final match here, we have another kind of rough lead with the Altaria here. And if you do know Rock Slide, you can actually win this. But we do know the Thunderbolt, which is the preferred moveset just overall for coverage in this meta here. Or maybe it's not, I didn't actually look at PV Poke, but generally Thunderbolt is used in the Open Great League. And I'm going to try to go for this next Thunderbolt here, but they're going to throw right before, and I kind of make a big mistake here and decide to shield the Sky Attack, as I thought a Thunderbolt would KO them from this range. But that ends up not being the case, so kind of a waste of a shield there. And then they bring in their own Sableye, and since they are shield up, they should be able to take out our Sableye and maintain quite a bit of health on theirs. So they're going to shield the first move, and then they're going to CMP tie me on my next foul play, but we do survive this, I believe. And that kind of helps us out a little bit, since we are able to get this foul play off, which will either grab a shield or put them pretty low. But they are ahead on energy, so they will be able to reach another move regardless of the Pokemon we bring in. And obviously we can't bring in our Deoxys defense, as we will just be farmed down. So I'm forced to come in here with the Walrein and have to eat a foul play there, which does quite a bit of damage, and they bring in a Swampert. So if we just played this matchup a little bit differently, we probably would have won the game. Like if we just let our Deoxys defense go down in the lead, farm down with our Walrein, then we would have had good winning chances here. I do attempt to catch, and I also waited for them to be over the Earthquake before I catch, because I anticipated them anticipating my catch. So they still held on to their energy, so good discipline by the opponent there, and they're able to take me out. So yeah, very solid team here, able to come back from some very rough leads, and definitely give this team a try if you're trying to make a last minute push to Legend or whatever your ELO goals are at the end of the season here. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also submit your battles in the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.